So this is a very quick segment. I'm really happy. I went through all of the super chats, ladies and gentlemen, and so today I have one of our really good friends on the show. I remember seeing this woman. I guess it had to be like, I don't know, like it had to be at least 10 years ago. And it was at Lulu's Beehive when we would do those shows. And I was just starting to do comedy, like doing stand up. And you were there, Karen, and you did one of my favorite jokes. And I just love what you do. And so here's my good friend. My guest today is a tarot card master and teacher, as well as a hilarious comedian. Please welcome Karen Rontowski, AKA Paranormal Karen.
Thank you.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Steph. Good to see you.
It's great seeing you. So it's such, Karen has lived in LA for a long time doing comedy, and she recently moved elsewhere. And it's like, a lot of people during COVID moved elsewhere, and you just recently made your move. And it's kind of like, I guess what I'm learning in life, that all good things come to an end.
Yes. Well, it's kind of funny because I can't stand where I am, but I know I'm in the right place. I'm in upstate New York because I have to take care of my parents. And it's sort of that realization of two things, which is, we always think synchronicities are going to bring the things we want, but we're all where we're supposed to be. And also, another thing was we only grow through discomfort. So you can't, but believe me, my parents, I know this sounds awful, but I'm 2 funerals away from coming back to California.
No, Karen, that doesn't sound bad at all.
Well, I have to say, I love watching Scott Ritter, and my new phrase is now that my insides are liquefying. I wrote that down.
Oh my God, that is so dark. So Karen, I knew Karen through stand-up comedy, and then I don't know what it was. It must have been maybe like 5 years ago that you and Jimmy started to you would do his tarot card reading. And listen, if you're not into tarot cards, because we were talking about Jimmy and I, over the course of COVID, we really started to read Carl Jung. And I think you shared with me that Carl Jung and symbols that you see that he talks about and, synthesizes, I guess, for the reader, that you're saying that these symbols are also exist in the world of tarot. You want to explain that?
Yes, the archetypes that are used in the major arcana of tarot are really universal. They have been, it's even like with tarot cards, they always look back. When is the first deck? When is the first deck? And they keep finding them back further and further because the archetypes that Carl Jung was using are actually the major arcana. And not only that, the major, people think it's all kind of like, I'm going to meet someone or get married, but it's actually, they call it the Fool's Journey. The 22 cards are in form of the Fool's Journey, which is the cycles of life, the way we learn things. It's also, most movies follow this same Fool's Journey. In fact, there was a great script writing book called The Hero's Journey, and it was exactly the tale of the tarot. And if you watch especially a movie like Lord of the Rings, you could actually use your tarot cards to tell exactly what's coming up next. So they're not just like divination tools, they're also like psychological tools.
Oh, that's so interesting. Psychological tools. I never really even thought of it that way, well, what do you mean that they're psychological tools? How does that play?
Like, for example, many people are terrified of the devil card. They don't know what that means. And the devil card is the part of us that won't let go. It's the things that are holding us back. If we won't let go of our guilt, if we won't let go of our lies, our self-deception, that is all the devil card means. And when we have that card, the next card is actually called the Tower card. And that is if you stay locked in your lie, if you stay in that devil card long enough, the universe is going to come and just turn your world upside down. So yes, but then also there's other cards, like they have the Lover's card, which people don't understand. The Lover's card is not just about being in love with someone. It's about perfect love within, which is your conscious mind, which is your male side of the body, working with your subconscious mind, which is your female side of the body, working with God. It makes like this perfect triangle that makes perfect self-love. So all kinds of things like that.
Okay, so now I've had several readings with you, and I think it seems to me. So every time Karen and I would have a session, every time we would have a session, she would say, "I see your father again. I see your father here," and I'm like, I don't want to talk about my father. So just for clarification, so my parents were divorced. Oh, I guess like 27 years ago. And at that point, my dad disconnected from us, right? He stopped talking to my sister, stopped talking to me. My sister has 2 kids, and their grandfather just kind of like just disconnected from his family. And now, that sounds sad. I get it. But I also think that, maybe it's because I have a great relationship with my mother that it wasn't as painful. I think it was more painful for my sister because she had kids. And so it felt like a real like betrayal of like, you're not going to continue taking care of the kids. But for my dad, oh my God, every time she would bring up my dad, I'm like, I don't want to talk about him. Right? Like, I don't want to talk about, like, even like the last session, like, I know you don't want to talk about your dad. Yep. I don't want to talk, cause like, I don't like, that's just to me, like, I just can't go there. I don't know if I can't go there, but it's so funny that you would always say that.
That would be probably why he's looming, because it's a father wound. Okay. And it's a father wound. Also, you may have taken on a role to fulfill your father not being there. Like, I know that sounds weird, but the father role was always the organizational role. The male side of us is the organizational role, the number 4. And you may have put things together to make things better. And so it may be, but whenever we don't want to talk about something, it means we should be talking about something.
I do have a joke. I do have one joke that I do mention my dad. Yeah, I do, and it's a joke that I bring up my dad, but it's not a joke about him. So, all right, maybe okay, moving on. I just had to like, I know, but I had to bring it up because it was something like I didn't want to talk about, right? So I had to bring it up. So now, I guess my point was this, actually, like, I find that whenever I had a tarot card reading with you, and I love having readings with you. I love the experience. Jimmy and I record them so we can go back and listen to them. And I think one thing that I noticed is I never feel like I have to worry that you're going to turn a card and go, oh, like, for some reason. So do you have like somebody, like, is there something that you've decided when you're reading cards, when you're reading the tarot, like what's your philosophy about that?
So my philosophy on that is 2 things. You never scare anyone, but that doesn't mean I don't warn them that something isn't going to happen the way it's supposed, people want a tarot card reading. They want you to tell them that things are going to go this way. And I don't do that, but I also don't scare them. Okay. I can, and in fact, if a card comes up, I will explain to them what it is. Like, okay, this is going to work out for the best. It's not going to work out the way you're planning on it. And also the tarot cards show the potential of the path that people are on. But even this morning, I had a lady that had like a big business thing coming up, and I was like, okay, you really have to bring in other people for this. Or I really was like, this is going to take longer and it's going to be very different. You don't have to tell her her world is going to fall apart, but giving that warning. Another great example of that is so much is in our subconscious that when you're dealing with people that are sick or pregnant, you don't ever want to tell them something's going to plant an idea that's going to make that worse. Like a lot of times too, ladies that are having babies, you would never say, oh my God, this is going to go wrong or anything like that. You want to keep all that positive energy moving. you know? So I do
Yes, I
find
can
nice
see.
ways, yeah, I do find nice ways to say it. But on the other hand, I have had so many women call me and say, we can't have a baby. We've been trying forever. What's happening? And I'll turn over the cards, and very clearly they can have a baby. And I'll say, you're going to have a baby. I don't know what you're talking about, but that's what my cards are saying. They will call me a week later and say, I can't believe it, I'm pregnant. And I don't know if it's like psychically they came to me at the right time to just put that out there, or if subconsciously I gave them permission. But that has happened so many times, it's crazy.
Oh my God. I mean, you're kidding. I could still have a baby?
Well, first we got to talk about your father.
Why? All right, let me see another question that we had. All right. So, my thing's on my screen. Oh, I know what's going on. Something wackadoo. Why the F? I'm sorry they had to see. I'm sorry they had to see me react like that. Okay. So this question, let me see if I have it right. Oh, Karen, so you've said that you believe Jimmy's show is really in its perfect space and time.
Uh-huh.
Oh, can you tell me more about that?
I can tell you why it's in the perfect space and time and why it's going to grow is because they always talk about the big reset sort of what's going on politically and in the world, where there's also a reset going on within us. We are actually becoming, for lack of a better term, woke. People are becoming more intuitive, more aware. And about 3 to 4 years ago, people were actually given, sort of inherited, the gift of discernment. And a lot of people will notice all of a sudden, you knew when someone was lying more so than you ever did before. And it is like the news. When you watched the news a few years ago, you could kind of watch and you could see they're lying and this isn't going well. But now it's in your face. I can't have any of the news channels on for more than 5 minutes. I keep going back like something has changed. But people are so hungry for the truth right now that what Jimmy's doing probably, 5-10 years ago would have kind of been lost, but people are drawn to the truth right now. They don't care what it brings with them. It's like you were seeing that in China. I'm waiting for those people to just run out into the street and overthrow. That's really what's about to happen there.
Yeah, totally. I can't imagine. I think that the only reason that they're not doing that is because they're locked in. So We'll see what happens in the future in China. Hey, Karen, so people can use tarot for divination and psychological purposes. Talk to me about that.
Well, really, when they call me, there's two things. Actually, I have a Patreon where I have two things. I have a tarot class people can buy on my website, or I have a Patreon where they can learn it kind of slowly, learn the symbolism of the card, learn about themselves, especially psychologically. You can't not.
Wait a minute. You have a class? You have classes that what? Tell me this again.
So if people go on my website, they can purchase my tarot class. They get the whole thing at once. It's 8 hours of tarot. They learn all the cards, how to put them together. They'll be reading within a week if they watch all of them. It helps them tune into their intuition, and they can really get to know the symbolism. They can get to know everything about the tarot deck. Even if they knew nothing, coming right in, they'll learn. Or I have a Patreon where I have one level where they get the card of the day emailed to them, and I explain what a card means, and I give them a mantra with each card to have a better day, something positive. Or they can also get a level where they get a half-hour class every Thursday, so they can learn slowly or either way. But the real basis of the tarot is to know yourself, to see yourself in those cards, and to understand that we are everything. So we have those parts of us that are hidden, or the ones that come out. Now, back to the other part where the truth right now, it is like it really, Jimmy can't lie. I can't lie. I'm a terrible liar. we would be, if we were lying, we would get caught so fast by even Jimmy's fans. But that is something, I don't know why I jumped back to that question. I got time left.
Right.
But yeah.
But can I say, like, when I've been with you and you do my tarot card reading, I find it, I was with a therapist, and I had this therapist, and she was a Carl Jung therapist, Jungian therapist, right? And I just felt it just wasn't the exchange between me and her wasn't the same, because she was very like kind of blank expression. She was empathic, but I just felt like I had way more fun with a tarot card reading with you than I ever was. I felt more fueled or anything by that. Like, so do you find that, do some of your clients like treat it almost like therapy? Because I think I do, but am I alone?
No, in fact, what's kind of funny is I have many clients. People shouldn't come. If people are coming more, they shouldn't really come a month. They should come maybe, if it's really big things, every 3 months or every 6 months or once a year. But I have quite a few clients whose therapists tell them, why don't you call your tarot reader? Because I can say what they can't say. And I can say it like, they have to work around things, and I can come right out and go, no, that's not how it's happening, and that's not what you're doing. So, in fact, it was funny at one of the live shows I was in with you guys, you were saying something and you go, I can't give any medical advice. I'm not a doctor. And I was like, I'll give all your medical advice because I'm a psychic. And so
and that brings me to the point, like, so you perform also, and sometimes you do, so you not only do great stand-up, but you also end your shows with tarot card readings, right?
Yes. Yep. The show is called Psychic Stand-Up, and if anybody wants to see clips, they're all over my TikTok, which is at Rontowski. I don't know, people have been duplicating my account. So remember, it's just at Rontowski, no dots, no things. But that is the most fun I have, and the audience has fun, because I'm literally using I'm using the tarot side and the joke side. And it has some pretty phenomenal moments and a lot of fun. And that's the show that I'm going on the road with now. So.
That's great. So like, if I, what's the best website to find your tour dates?
If everybody, mostly they're on Instagram. I'm doing better about my web. If you go to KarenRontowski.com, you can find everything.
Great.
There. You can sign up for my newsletter, Patreon, anything like that. If you like TikTok, it's at Rontowski. If you like Instagram, it's at Rontowski. If you like Facebook, it's just put Rontowski and you'll find me. There's no other Rontowskis. I've eliminated all of them.
Okay. And now, before we go, do you want to make any prediction? Is there anything that you wanted to like put out in the universe right now?
Well, there's two things, which is people do need to pay attention to the food shortages. Okay, that's not really going to be a joke with the way the prices are going and stuff. But I will say this, we're going to have a wonderful summer. We're going to have a wonderful summer that's kind of free of this stuff. Number 3, there will not be nuclear war, period. No way, no how. For anybody that wants a little conspiracy stuff, look up MedBed. EMDBED. It's a new technology that heals with frequencies, and it's a real thing. And I think that they put Biden in the med bed, because I don't know if anyone has noticed, but he's been a lot, like he was way sharper the last couple of months than he has been. So something is going on there.
You remember that, what was that movie? I think it was that movie with Kevin Kline. I think the film might have been Dave, and Dave was impersonating a president that had since, like, I think, see, that's my theory. That is my theory, that there's somebody in a costume acting like Biden. Okay, it's just my theory. You don't have to believe it or anything like that. Okay. Well, this was great, Karen. Thank you so much. When's your next date on the road, pal, for people to check out?
Actually, not doing psychic stand-up, but I'll be in Nashville, Zanies at the 18th. But here, I know it's way out. October, Halloween, I am always at, I'm at the Rosemont Zanies doing the psychic stand-up show, making a new CD. So October at Zanies.
That's going to be great. That's great. And that's a great space. We've done that space before. Well, Karen Rontowski, thank you so much, pal, for dropping by today. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you soon.
You.
All right?
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Bye.
We're doing live stand-up shows in Cleveland, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Des Moines, Omaha, Kansas City, Las Vegas, all over the country. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a link for tickets. And single tickets now available at all venues. So if you tried to buy one before and you couldn't, single tickets are now available. Plus, while you're at jimmydorcomedy.com, why don't you become a premium member? Sign up to our mailing list so when they cancel us, we can still stay in touch.